Happy Thursday. Hope you guys having a wonderful day today. In today's video, I'm gonna be sharing with you guys how to build a 900 horsepower 5.7 HEMI RAM or a 6.4 HEMI RAM. I'm gonna be sharing with you guys 7 steps on how you could do so. Now, this is not cheap. Obviously, costs you a lot of money, so it's not a cheap, easy um, thing that you will be able to do, but it does cost a lot of money for you to do so. So I'm going to be breaking down a few steps on how you could be able to do so in this live. But there is different ways that you can go about doing this, but this is one of the ways I'm going to be sharing with you guys how to be able to build a 900 horsepower 5.7 HEMI RAM. But if you're on the channel for your first time, this is I think day 10. I'm trying to keep up with the days. Then going live, I'm going live every day on this channel. So if you are on this channel, you're a fan of Mopar or you're a car guy in general, definitely make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help support the channel. I would definitely appreciate it. So trying to be consistent with posting, going live at least. I'm going live every day. So any kind of topic, whatever you want me to talk about, feel free to leave it down in the comments down below. Or, you know, if you have anything, it could be about cars, could be about fitness, whatever. You got questions you want to ask me, feel free to definitely leave that down below in the comments. Now, so how do you really make your 5.7, your stock 5.7, or your non-stock 5.7 Hemi to be able to make at least 900 to the wheels? How can you be able to achieve that? All right, y'all, I'm back. I had a little interruption on a live. On a live. We are back on the live. So, like I was saying, so how can you really be able to make your 5.7 Hemi make 900 wheels to the power? Now, just to clarify once again, this is not cheap. It's gonna cost you a lot of money to do so, and obviously it's gonna be worth it though. But how do you really make your 5.7 Hemi to be able to make 900 to the wheels? First thing first, there's a couple ways you can go about this. First, I would say if you got a stock 5.7 Hemi, you can either decide if you want to go with a supercharger or if you want to go with a turbocharger. So now, from my understanding, I know for a fact there are some how you call it turbo superchargers out there. That's pretty much all you got to do is like a bolt on, but it does require you to do a few things to add on to be able to make that kind of power. But I would say the first thing you got to decide if you want to do a supercharger or you want to do a turbo supercharger, or that's the first two steps. Once you figure out which one you want to go with, me honestly, I would say I would want to go with like a maybe like a some kind of supercharger like the Hellcat. What I've seen that they have now, you could do like a Hellcat supercharger on your 5.7 Hemi, but it's not just a stock Hellcat supercharger you can just bolt on there. It doesn't work like that. You got to get like an actual kit, and the actual kit itself costs around somewhere, when I last checked, costs around somewhere around like I think 5 grand, somewhere 5-6 grand, which is kind of crazy. But it's a whole kit that have everything, pretty much everything that you will need. Now, if you go on that route, that's the first step for you to be able to make. That's the first step I would say for you to be able to achieve at least 900 to the wheels, or probably at least 1,000. Now, with that setup, next thing you could do rebuild heads, or you could do, well, this recommended. I'll say you could do rebuild heads on your truck. Now, this is with the stock 5.7. I'm not saying like a 6.4 Hemi, but I'm saying with your stock 5.7 Hemi, this is how you can go about it. So you do rebuild heads. You could do, I think, you could do like the 6.4 injectors, bigger size injectors. What else you could do? You could do camshaft, custom camshaft. That's another thing you could do. Um, you could also add, what else? I'll say I wouldn't really recommend you adding like a bigger size throttle body and stuff like that. It's not really recommended, but it could help you be able to get a little bit more power. But I wouldn't really say you should. You have to, but you could also go that route. Now, with those couple things I named, there's a lot more things that you have to do just here to hate for a minute. Appreciate the support, bro. Just here to hate for a minute. But it's a lot more things that you got to do. This is not no easy flyby, like bolt on things that you got to do. Now, like I said, it's like little, it's more stuff to this than what I'm telling you guys. Once you decide you want to go with a supercharger, like I mentioned, you can do the Hellcat supercharger kit that they have for the 5.7, and then also you can do bigger size injectors, camshaft, custom camshaft. What else I'll say? You could do race air in the tire is mandatory. Oh yeah, definitely. And then I'll say with these things, when you trying to make this kind of power on a 5.7 Hemi, what I would recommend the most, this is like super mandatory too that I'll say that you gotta do. If you gotta figure out if your truck has a 6-speed or 8-speed. Like my truck right now has a 6-speed transmission. I know damn well if I try to do something like that right now with this truck, this trans definitely gonna be giving up on my truck for. It's not even gonna take that long to. The 6-speed trans is not the best transmission when you plan on doing stuff like this. If you got the 8-speed, you don't have to get like a brand new trans, but you could get your trans rebuilt to where. That's another thing on the list. You can get your trans rebuilt to where it could be able to handle at least like 1,000 to the wheels. Make sure she buys you a PS5 first. Hey, yo, like this live, man. Like this live, help support. But you're gonna need a rebuilt trans. You're gonna need maybe a higher stall. Not maybe, but definitely gonna need like a higher stall torque converter. Also, you're probably gonna have to upgrade your gears on your truck to like 392 gears. It's a lot more stuff, but like the main thing that would be able to help you achieve that 900 to the wheels, like I said, is plenty of different ways you can go about doing this. But I'm just giving an example with you doing like a Hellcat supercharger kit, whatever that they have now for a 5.7 Hemi. Now you could probably add more stuff to this list to really be fully like trying to make that power. When you add in all this stuff, like the one last thing I would say that definitely is a must when you trying to do all of this, find somebody who understand Mopar, who definitely like will be able to come up with some kind of nice spicy tune for you to be able to have all these mods that you doing to your 5.7 Hemi, be able to get like achieve like the most power out of it. Like the tune is like the most thing that you definitely gonna need. How do you like the heart? But a tune is definitely the most thing that you definitely gonna need. I ain't gonna lie to you guys, man. Like when you doing modification to any kind of car, truck, a custom tune is like the main part that have everything come together. Definitely is a must. But this is just one of the ways that you can really be able to do it. To be able to make at least 900. Y'all back on the live. I had an interruption once again. I don't know why my phone keep doing that, but back on the live. So like I was saying, I think because it's too hot outside. But like I was saying, all you need, like you really don't need, it's a couple different ways. But it's a couple different ways and stuff like you could really go about doing this. Like I mentioned, you could go the route of keeping your 5.7, or the fastest way you could be able to do that, achieve that is you could probably just simply just go the route of you ditching your 5.7 Hemi, going with a 6.4 swap, to a 6.4 Hemi swap. Now with that, it's gonna be a lot easier. It's not really gonna take as much, but it is a little bit more expensive because you're doing a whole swap from a 5.7 to a 6.4. Now I know for a fact 6.4 is a lot easier. You don't really need much like you will with the stock 5.7 Hemi. So all you gotta really do 6.4 if you want to do a Whipple supercharger, or could do turbo. Me honestly, if I'm going a route where I'm doing a whole swap on from a 5.7 to a 6.4, I personally would just go. I personally would just go with a Whipple supercharger. If I'm putting like a 6.4 Hemi in my truck, I think the Whipple supercharger is like the best combination in my personal opinion. If you're gonna do a 6.4 swap, it might be different for somebody else, but you really gonna it's a lot of different ways you can go about this. Like I'm not just what I'm telling you guys is like I'm not just trying to say it's one way or two ways and stuff for you to be able to achieve 900 of the wheels. It really doesn't take as much, but like I said, if you got a 5.7, it does require a lot more than what you think. Like that, like I said, the main things, you got to get your trans rebuilt, or you can get a fully rebuilt trans. I think going that route gonna cost you a lot more money. But getting your old 8-speed trans rebuilt to where it could be able to handle that much power it wouldn't be cheap, but it's still gonna cost you a little bit more money. And then a higher torque converter. You're gonna need like a custom tune. Gonna need probably some kind of custom cam. But it's a lot of things on the list, man. It's a lot of things on the list that you could really be able to. But it's not nowadays. It's not really to be able to achieve 900 to the wheels. It's not really as complicated as you think. But if you can find yourself a good mechanic, somebody who understands Mopar, or somebody who just strictly work on these Mopars and stuff like that, it's definitely going to be attainable, easy for you to do. It's not like you're trying to achieve like 2,000 to the wheels or something like that, but it doesn't really require that much, especially if you got one of these trucks. I've seen a ton of videos on YouTube, Instagram. I think it's a 2014 Ram. I think he did like a Hellcat swap, and I think it's kind of sick though, seeing something like that. Like for a truck like this to have like the Hellcat swap on, definitely crazy. I know it's not easy to do something like that from what I've heard, but it's definitely something that's more, achievable. You could definitely do so, but it's a lot of ways, man. There's a lot of ways doing this, but you just gotta understand. You gotta have capital. If you got money, you can do whatever you want. Money is, it's like the key when you plan on doing something like this. It's not cheap. It's not no simple mods and stuff, but just me sharing my own personal opinion with you guys. Not trying to give you guys advice about anything, but if you're on the channel, supporting the channel, I appreciate it. Make sure you guys give this live a thumbs up. Also, make sure you leave a comment down below, because I'm trying this new thing on YouTube, going live at least every day. So this is my day 9. So day 9 right here, 9 or 10, going live talking about pretty much cars or whatever you want me to talk about. If it's cars, fitness, leave it down in a comment down below. If you guys want me to make any kind of content about that. But if you're supporting the channel, I appreciate it, man. Like, I'm gonna start doing mods to this truck. You guys just gotta stay just hold on, man. I'm just trying to get some things in order right now, but we definitely gonna be doing mods to this truck. Like I said, I got a lot of things planned coming up for this truck, and it's a lot of mods I have. Some of the things I plan on doing with this truck, one of the main things I want to do is definitely doing a swap on this truck, and something that's very, very, it costs money to do so, but I think at the end of the day, it's definitely worth it, because the only reason why I'm not trying to go the route of trying to put too much money into my 5.7 that I have in this truck right now, just number one, the truck right now has 149 on the dash, which is not too bad. Definitely could still be able to mod, do stuff, but I just think that the smartest thing for me to do, even if I'm trying to make power, but what I'm trying to do with this truck within the next year, couple months and stuff like that, with the miles on here right now, over 100,000 miles. 149 is not that bad, but I'm saying with the miles right now, if I was to try to go like the route of trying to boost this truck, I'm gonna have to get my stock 5.7 Hemi rebuilt. And the crazy thing about it, doing that, it's gonna be the same amount of money that I was spent to buy a brand new block, 6.4 block, and be able to. It's pretty much around like the same prices. And I think that it just make more sense if you in the same category as me. You trying to make race with your truck, or you plan on modifying it. I think that if you're gonna keep anything for a long time, especially one of these trucks, and if it has a higher, if it has a 5.7 Hemi, you should ditch the 5.7 Hemi. If only if you plan on racing, doing some real like, real life racing and stuff like that with it. But if you're not really one of them guys that really trying to keep it for a long time, plan on racing it at the track, then you can keep your stock 5.7 Hemi, just pretty much built on it and stuff like that. I think, that's the route you could go. But I'm a little bit off topic, but I'm just giving you guys a little update. If you on the channel, you're supporting the channel, I definitely appreciate that. There's a ton of things coming for this truck, but I'm going live every day, man. Y'all gotta let me know if y'all got ideas, whatever y'all want me to make videos on. Something new. Still trying to be used to going live on YouTube, also putting out content. So everything is still new to me, but I appreciate the support on here. Make sure you guys like this live, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay safe and peace out.